In this lecture, we will talk about second router scatter gather.
Let's discuss real-time scenario of Make My Trip. Here the requirement is when you click on flights and then search, it should return rates for all the flights between Delhi to Bangalore. Now it has executed and all the rates are visible. Here you can see flight rates for Indigo, SpiceJet, Air India and others.
This can be achieved with async flow where you send request to MMT. It then calls Indigo and gets the response. Then it calls SpiceJet for rates and it gets response. Then it calls Air India and gets response from Air India. Then it collates all the data and return back to the customer. But in this case, we need to manage how to do multiple requests and how to aggregate back their responses. And most crucial parameter is response time, which would be huge in that case. Better way of doing it is to use scatter gather in MuleSoft. Here, all three requests are made concurrently to Indigo, SpiceJet and Air India. They do response parallelly whenever they are ready, and that response is then collated and sent back to customer. Now let's add one more constraint in the requirement. We need to retrieve rates of all the flights within 5 seconds. If Indigo and SpiceJet responses are received within 5 seconds and response is not received from Air India, then only two responses should be shown on the MMT side. The diagram shows the behavior of scatter gather component. Scatter gather component receives a mule event and sends a reference of this event, which we can also call as copies, to the each processing route. That too concurrently. Route 1, route 2 and route 3 in this case. Each of the processing routes start executing parallelly instead of sequentially in separate thread. After all processing route have finished execution, the scatter-gather component creates a new mule event that combines all resulting mule events from each route and then passes the new mule event to the next component in the flow. It waits till all the targets execute. It collects responses from various targets and aggregates them to a single message. Let's say in this example, route 1 takes 2 seconds, route 2 takes 5 seconds and route 3 takes 6 seconds. Then output payload is a combination of all these mule events from each route and it would take 6 seconds to execute. Each route output has payload plus attributes. It is called as scatter gather as it scatters the input and then gathers the response to give final response. If any of the target fails inside scatter gather, it can fail whole process. You may have 3 or 30 routes and even if one route fails, your whole process can fail. To handle that situation, it's always best practice to wrap every target within try block with on error continue so that you can handle the errors and complete the process successfully. For example, we discussed if third route is taking more than 5 seconds, then this can give timeout. We can handle it separately, but these two responses can be collated. We would see how to do this in the details in demo soon.